Broken tie rod end while off-roading, waiting for parts.
We are in the middle of nowhere. Very rocky road. Way at the top of the mountain. It's gonna take 3 hours for help to get here. Look at how. So we are going to be very up here until nighttime, nightfall.
Hey YouTube, so in today's episode we are going to be talking about tie rod ends and why they are designed the way they are. Okay, and then we are going to be talking about broken tie rod ends, and I'm going to show you a video of my adventure and how this thing became broken. So before we go on, I just want to share a word with you regarding my channel. So I've noticed that there's this one particular guy. He keeps coming into my channel, and then on the comment section he keeps advertising porn on the comment section. And be honest with you, I don't really appreciate that. If you are a pervert and you're thinking about advertising porn on my channel, I'm gonna report you right away, okay? Because it's just wrong. If you want to watch porn, go for it. I don't really care. But I'm not that type that likes to advertise porn on my channel. So if you're thinking about advertising porn on my channel, I'm gonna report you right away, and I'm gonna make sure that YouTube knows who you are. Okay? So please, if you are thinking about advertising porn on my channel, don't do it. It's just not good, and it's just not decent. The decent people don't do that. So with that being said, backstory. Okay, past weekend, I went to do some deer scouting because this coming Saturday is archery season for deer, and I love archery. Okay, so I do shoot archery as well, and I do hunt. So because my intention was to go scouting, I didn't bring extra parts, and I didn't go with the buddy. Okay, my philosophy on off-roading is, number one, never go alone. Number two, always bring spare parts, because things like these breaks down all the time. So I broke that rule of thumb because off-roading was on the back of my mind. It was not even on the forefront. My intention was to go and have fun scouting. So I went. Okay, but luckily I have my tools with me. Okay, I have my tools with me. So let me show you what my tools consist of. This is sort of like a universal puller. Okay, this will take off just about any ball joint or any tie rod ends. And this right here is the levering system, and this right here is what applies force onto the ball joint spindle or the tie rod end spindle here. Okay, so if you don't have this, I would recommend you get one. Okay, you can get this at Harbor Freight Tools or at your local auto part stores, and it's really cheap. It doesn't break the bank. And I put one of this. I have two of all of this, so each set goes into my car. Okay, so then this is a stronger one. This is mainly for lower ball joints, and it's good to have with you for insurance purposes. Okay, here as well, this is good for the tie rod end. Okay, and this will break the weld or the meld that is caused when you tighten this too tight. Okay, now if you don't have any of these, this works really well. Okay, this, if you hit right here, will cause a shock onto this little spindle right here, and it'll loosen it, but you have to hit it very hard. Okay, so anyway, these are just the tools that you want to have with you off-road, which I do all the time. Okay, but during this time I didn't have this. Okay, so my wife and I, we went there, And I decided, you know, Shut Eye Peak is right there. Why don't I just drive up and just enjoy the day with my wife and my 2 kids and have fun with them because we're out there anyway. So that's what I did. And on the way up to the top, when we crashed the top, my truck uh, started feeling really weird. It felt like I had a flat, right? Because what it is was I had hit a rock. So I had hit a rock, and you know, a normal tie rod end looks like this. Okay, so I hit a rock going up to the crest, and from what I make of it, my passenger front tire was like this. Okay, okay, like that. Okay, so my truck was fighting itself in the front. It didn't want to go straight. It just wanted to go like that. So I felt really weird. The steering felt really weird. It wasn't responsive. It felt like it had a flat tire. And I went out and inspected the tires. They were okay. They weren't flat. So I said, okay, well that's okay. But what I failed to look under was I failed to look at the tie rod ends. And so we just kept driving toward the tower. So if you've been to Shut Eye Peak, you'll see the tower. Okay, and you can access the tower, and just go and enjoy nature out there. So that's what we did. On our way back down, that's when my suspension fell out, and I didn't have any steering ability anymore. So I went out and take a look, and my tie rod end, this was bolted onto the lower bar joint, and this was bolted onto the rack and pinion inner tie rod end. So they were like this. Okay, so I looked and got, oh shoot, we're in trouble. Number one, I didn't have any parts with me. Number two, we're out there alone, and I didn't have a buddy who will with me. So that's bad on me. So I looked and I discovered that look at how this thing was. Okay, that's how it fitted together. Okay, so I know on the video that I'm going to show you, I said that I hit a rock from under, but it wasn't. Okay, after looking at this carefully, I had, okay, this is the passenger side. Okay, so I have hit a rock on my front passenger tire, causing it to bend inward like that. And so how it bent inward like this was, it's a good design. That's why it bent that way. Look at this. You see the design here? If you hit something like this here, okay, is designed to give like that. And so it gived the way it was designed. You see that? All right. So why it does that is so that it saves your rack and pinion. Okay. If this thing was solidly built like this part right here, through and through, a big fat piece like this, through and through, basically what you'll have is that I would have damaged my rack and pinion, and it would have been a worse problem. So I'm actually happy that the engineer thought about this, and they designed this thing the way they did, and it saved my rack and pinion. Okay, so anyway, back to the story. So I was able to remove my broken tie rod end with this thing. I have another pair of this inside my truck. I was going to use this, but I ended up not using it because I already had this thing. And thank God for this little jaw puller. It busted out this thing. Okay, so that's the story. Here is the video I want to show you. I'm showing you to let you know I'm human, and to let you know if you have any plans on going off-roading, please bring extra parts like these little things that break.
So here we are at Shut Eye,
Hi.
and Yeah. I won't say much. Way up here, in the middle of nowhere, this thing broke. Which part broke? What is this called?
Tie rod end.
See that? It broke apart.
Right here and right here.
See that?
I think it broke because of over articulation.
Yeah, we are off-roading to Shut Eye Peak, and we were done. We were on our way, and right when we came down the hill, it snapped. And yeah, this is the life of going off-roading.
Okay, got it? Okay guys, so this is trail repair. My tie rod end broke, so I called into town. I got my cousin's nephew. He's on his way up. He said he just texted me right now. He is on his way up, and so right now I'm getting my car prepped. I have the tie rod end puller here, and I am basically pulling this bad boy out and getting it ready for when he comes. Takes about 3 hours to get up here, and by the time he gets here it's gonna be dark. So just getting myself ready for him. We are at Shut Eye Peak, and yeah, it's Shut Eye Peak, all right. It's a piece of crap. So what I'm doing here is I'm marking my spot, since I know I will forget. I know that I will forget the area here. I sawed into here a little bit so that I mark my spot here. So let's see. So then this thing goes like this.
Well, how long is it? 5,362 miles. How long is that in yards? Wait, how much is a mile? How much is a mile? That is you, George?
All right. Okay. So out comes the bad part.
It was like a mile. Was it? Search it up. 500.
Then why do you need to saw the other one? Is that little nut right there is gonna come off too?
No. So what we're gonna do is basically this thing shouldn't look like this. It's
Should have
bent.
been straight.
It should be straight.
Look at that very slope.
Oh, we have to we have to
to
move forward.
Oh, you had to move forward?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, 到了. Okay.
Look at that.
I don't know why I dropped the washers.
In the middle of the night, it's almost 10 o'clock, 9:51, and we got help.
Yes, sir. That side's okay.
I bet you cha me, bây giờ ta chẳng biết bơi bị kim mà hú mét to.
Yeah, but then cái tròn tu này à, cái tròn tu đi rồi đó. Cái cô lấy mà sáng tạo. Oh my gosh, we should not have called them to come up. Did you guys stop that? Did you unload your truck at Shut Eye Trailhead? Oh. Okay, so that was the video, and I hope that that video is informational and educational to you. I hope that that video will encourage you to carry extra tools, okay, like these, so that you don't get into the predicaments where you're stuck. I was able to remove the tie rod end here with my little tool here. So, and I had an extra hammer, which I didn't end up not using. So, yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. I know my philosophy is you should not wheel alone, and I broke that rule. And you should always have parts with you when you off-road, and I broke that rule. So it's a learning experience for me. I hope it's a learning experience for you as well. Let me know what your thoughts are, and please like and subscribe.